everyone, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Batman Arkham Asylum on Steam. I'm One Wild Sheep yet again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be continuing onwards with the rest of the game, going to backtrack throughout the entirety of this facility, collecting Riddler trophies as we search for Harley Quinn's fingerprint trail. Yes! And to start things off, right off the bat, right by here is Mr. Freeze's cage. So we might as well break the ice, if you will, and scan him, take a good old picture of the bloke. Now, there's a couple of secrets in this room alone. And for the most part, this part is primarily going to consist of me going around collecting a bunch of Riddler trophies up until we get to the next area, which involves another stealth sequence, folks. Which, I do love the stealth sequences, actually, in this game. Like, obviously it's Batman. A Batman game without stealth is like a Sonic game without the fast. So, you know, I like the fact that this game has some stealth sequences like that. And the stealth sequences I haven't really spoke about either all that much. And to be honest, I have to speak... If I'm going to be honest about them, they are really, really well done stealth sequences. Like, it's obvious they're well done, because other games after this point, other superhero games primarily, I've noticed actually steal the similar mechanics for their stealth sequences. For example, The Amazing Spider-Man, which is far from an amazing game, if I do say so myself. It's a pretty mediocre Spider-Man game. That has stealth sequences in it, and the entire time I'm playing it, all I can think of is Batman. That's it, just Batman. It was kind of similar as well with another Spider-Man game. So basically all of the Spider-Man games that incorporate stealth, they're all pretty much similar to the Batman, what can I say. But anyway, now that we got this Riddler trophy, the cage has locked us in. Oh no, it was a trap. But do not fret, Admiral Akbar. There is a way out of this trap. So all we need to do is blow up the wall, scan that Chronicle of Arkham, which is also in here. I don't know if I'm gonna go for all the Chronicles of Arkham yet, but I'll think about it, I'm at the point of the recording process now where I need to find all the collectibles, so most of the normal gameplay, most of the plot stuff I've already completed. So I'm still deciding whether to get the Chronicles of Arkham. I might do just for the sake of 100% completion, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What can I say? Unless, of course, the playthrough's done by the time you're commenting on this video, because I've had that a couple of times where someone's commented on something I asked during a playthrough, and the playthrough was actually done like 3 months after. Or 3 months earlier than... you know what I mean. But anyway, like I said, lots of backtracking through the facility, and this is the weakest point of the game. Hands down, this is the weakest point of the game, just backtracking through the same areas. And for the most part, they do their best. Also, I love this. I love the physics on this thing. I don't know why. I find the physics on this one rag amazing. Look at that. How far can I take it with me? Follow me. Yes. Alright, what was I saying? For the most part, they do a good job to vary up your backtracking. So there's always a couple of extra different... You know, there's lots of different things in your pathway as you progress back through areas. But, you know, in instances like this, every now and then you'll have an instance like this where they don't really change the level design at all. They don't add new enemies, or with the exception of the occasional loony running at you. Where there's just, I don't know, it just feels like padding to me, just to go back through some of these areas sometimes. Now, if I was making this game myself, I don't know how I would actually go about solving this issue, and I don't know how I would personally go about trying to eliminate the backtracking as much as possible. But I was thinking more like maybe the developer should have incorporated a quick exit button. Like, say if you're inside a building and you just want to go back to the main Arkham overworld, you can just push a button and boom, you can skip all this stuff. But I don't know how. I don't know. Basically, I just don't like the fact I have to go back through these areas and retrace my steps. You know, folks. Now, granted, it's not really a big deal for the most part because, well, you know, it isn't a big deal at all. We're just running around and, hey, Riddler trophy, sweet! And we can usually run into Riddler trophies on our way back, which is a bonus, I suppose, but I digress. Anyway, going into this room by here, you see that enemy Blair? He's not a Riddler guy. We don't have to scan him. I don't know why I'm trying to scan him. He's just a random crazy. Take him out. But if you look at the mirror, then Batman just sees his reflection, and he just, you know, he gets turned on by his reflection. What can I say? Every morning before he begins work, he's sitting there in his mirror looking. You know, sort of like how actors recite their lines in mirrors. He's in his mirror constantly going, I'm Batman! I'm Batman! I'm Batman! You know, just trying to say I'm Batman to get whatever he's gonna... That terrifies me. Basically, I just picture Batman in the morning in the mirrors, just sort of shouting, I'm Batman at the mirror, just to get the right tone that he's gonna be using through the night. For whenever he says it. I like to think about these things in my spare time, ladies and gentlemen, you know. I am a nerd talking over video game footage on the internet. I need to have filler commentary, for God's sake. Just like how video games these days need to have filler content. Although, honestly, if I'd prefer games not to have much filler content, because I don't mind short games. Like, I know there's a very big... You know, having a really short games in this day and age is really frowned upon. Especially with the way that refunds work these days. But I don't mind it when a game is short, as long as it's really fun for that length of time and replayable, you know, folks? But I know there's loads of people who just go, the game's less than 10 hours, I'm not buying that, meh. And they just sort of stick their nose up to the game. I don't agree with that personally, you know? Hey, crazy! Bye-bye, bye-bye. Now, one thing that kind of annoys me about the crazies around this point in the game is you can find yourself getting swarmed by them, especially whenever you're trying to access buildings like this in order to get hold of the Riddler maps and what have you, which are recommended because they give you the general whereabouts of where you can find a lot of the Riddler trophies during each area of the game. Now, they aren't very useful, but they are kind of useful. Like, if you want to collect all the Riddler trophies, I do advise just going on Game FAQs or something and looking up a guide. But, you know, if you don't want to use a guide, they tell you the general area, general idea of where you need to be to get a lot of these trophies and whatnot done. They also show up all the interview tapes and what have you on the map as well as just the standard trophies. They all show up as question marks on the map, but, you know, it's at least it's a thing. It helps the backtracking, it helps the exploring go by a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying, folks? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but as I was saying, I'm not particularly one who's fussed by really long games, you know. If a game is 2 hours long, but I know I enjoy it and I know I'm going to go back and replay it again in the future, then I don't mind. I really don't mind if it's a short game. Like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is an absolutely phenomenal action game, for example. I don't know why I picked Metal Gear, probably because Metal Gear Solid 5 just came out at the time of this recording, and I guess it's somewhat relevant. Metal Gear Rising, 4-hour long campaign, but oh my god, is it a fun campaign? You know, that's the way I sort of look at things in regards to the game length. It's not about how long a game's content takes to beat, in my opinion. It's how long I will personally spend playing the game. You know, folks? Another good example would probably be Sonic Generations. Like, by the way, Amadeus Arkham's Tombstone is scanning that for another Riddler challenge. Yeah, Sonic Generations, for example, is another one where the game is really short. But I love playing through it every now and then and going through the levels one after another and trying to speed run through the game. You know, folks, it's just little things like that. Anyway, like I said, as I said way back at the beginning of the game, this is like a Metroidvania sort of thing. Now that we have this new crypto thingy, whatever it's called, we can actually access a lot more areas on the map yet again. And for the most part, a lot of the areas in the main overworld that involve me using this crypto thingy, whatever, well, they basically hold nothing but Riddler trophies and Riddler challenges. Well, not Riddler challenges. Basically, they're filled with Riddler trophies and riddles to clear. That's all they're really far in the main overworld that I can tell. There's no plot reason that we're gonna need it. There's no gate that I think is locked behind one of those locks that we need to get through to get into a building. I think the game's really good about that, you know. It's open world and it locks everything off, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like you don't have any tools at the start of the game. Although I still find it stupid that the bat claw isn't unlocked from the start. I mean, come on, it's just an upgrade to your grappling hook. Just keep that at the start of the game with you. Why was that in your Batmobile, Batman?
I should pick up Harley Quinn's.
Yes, I'm still going on about that. But anyway, now we're inside the new area where we need to try and track down Harley Quinn's movements and look for the secret lab in the garden. Hey guys! Oh god, only one of them fell. Hey, I'm Batman! I'm Batman! Stop shooting me, please! There we go, that's how I like to do things. You know, despite the fact Batman's suit seems really armoured, the bullets do an effectively large amount of damage to him. This is even more apparent in Batman Arkham Origins, where his armor is literally... like, his suit is literally armor in that game, and the bullets do insane damage to it. I always found that quite jarring. And yes, I did just call it Batman Arkham Origins, because the developers made a typo when they did an announcement involving that game quite a while back. Or was it an announcement with Arkham Knight, and they just mentioned Arkham Origins? Well, either way, they made an announcement and they misspelt Origins as Oranges, and now that's my personal nickname of that game. I am going to be constantly calling it that, and when I do an eventual playthrough, I tell you, one of the thumbnail parts will have Batman as an orange with a... well, it'll basically be an orange with a bat mask. Well, someone watch this LP part and steal my idea, and then I will announce it to the internet if they do steal my idea. Oh, actually, I'm not that caring about stuff. If people take my ideas, it's not really a big deal. I mean, I talk over the internet for video game footage, for God's sake, you know? Anyway, this particular stealth sequence, I'm gonna be honest, is probably the second, maybe third hardest in the game. And the big reason... no, actually, this one's not too bad. It's when we return to this area, it's harder. So, basically, when we return to this area later on, it's going to be a couple of enemies, like 3 or 4 enemies by the doorway, and they refuse to leave. Like, as you can see, these 2 enemies are pretty close together, but you can usually go to one running away. Now, whenever I'm playing through this sequence normally, I tend to get clipped by one of the other enemies. Basically, I have trouble dealing with multiple foes at once. I'm very bad at stealth. I am very bad at stealth regardless of the game that I'm playing. It could be Batman, it could be bloody... what's a good stealth game? Metal Gear, there we go, let's just go with that. That's the go-to one I know of. And I just can't do stealth. I'm pathetic at stealth, as you can see by here. Batman's dead as a dodo. But, you know, this is why I'm glad I do a lot of live streams. Not live streams. This is why I do Let's Plays that are heavily edited, because when I make a mistake, I can just cut past, you know? I'm telling you, when you do Let's Plays, people, edit. It's very good.
You need to stop this now, before it goes too far.
Stop? But everyone's dying to see what I do next.
Let him go now.
Really? Okay, if you say so, then. Whoopsie!
No!
You really need to speed things up, Bats. At this rate, you'll never catch me!
You could just say the Batman is too slow! You're too slow! Wow! But anyway, with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this part. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And when we return next time, we will be looking for the generator room to disable the water so we can get across that electrified death pit. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And I'll catch you all then. Bye!